Yo, what's up? It's Jason. I'm back again with another video and another vinyl update. Just got a big pile of records in Montreal. A nice little visit there, and some of you may have seen some of them in my video shorts on YouTube already, but there's a lot more. In fact, there's about this many to show you guys today. About 20 records in total and one 7-inch that I picked up over 3 different shops in Montreal. Always love that city. I used to live in that city back in the 90s, and amazing town, music-wise, culture-wise, food-wise, and record shops as well. Always some good gems in there. Always a lot of great used finds, and most of these are used, I think. There might be a couple that were new. So as always, there's a wide variety of underground styles in here, from electronic, techno, EBM, industrial, some jazz, some hardcore crust, and some classic rock, hard rock as well, new wave. We'll get all into it. So kicking off things with this first one, which is an EBM, 80s EBM industrial classic, Meat Beat Manifesto, out of the UK, Jack Danger's project. I've got a bunch of their stuff over the years on 12-inch mostly. This is another 12-inch. This is the Strap Down 12-inch, one of their earlier releases. Came out in '88 on the Sweatbox label. Also, these guys were also on wax tracks. A lot of times it was picked up on wax tracks. So this one was in a new arrivals bin over at Death of Vinyl. Death of Vinyl is a killer shop, kind of a must drop in, because if you're looking for used, there are just loads and loads of used in there, especially singles, huge amount of singles, and all kinds of genres and subgenres. I really like the categories that they have created over the years. This was just in the new arrivals bin for $10, and I didn't have it, so now I do. Actually, these next few records I'm going to show from Death of Vinyl shop in Montreal, I got basically free because I traded in records. So I brought down about 40 records, and like I said, overall I got about 20 records. So I'm trying to move some stuff in and out of the collection, but you know how that goes. So another industrial record, same era, I think exact same year actually, that I got at the same shop, was this one, Nights Are Ebb. Control, I'm Here. Killer single, one of my favorite songs by them. And I don't have a lot of Nights Are Ebbs. I only have maybe 2 other singles, but slowly picking them up. Been a fan since the 80s. But yeah, great stuff. This one has got production and mixing by Flood. And it's a Mute Records release from 1988. So Nights Are Ebb. Also from the 80s, a little 80s pop here. Got Sinead O'Connor, Mandinka, and great song, basically. Off the first album, the Cobra and the Lion record, which is my favorite Sinead. R.I.P. to her. She just passed in the last year or so. Next, from the same shop, a blind buy, something totally new to me. Hadn't heard of these guys before. This was recorded in the 2010s, 2015 release, live in Napoli. This is the Mystic Jungle Tribe. There they go by, but it sounds sort of like a live improv, electronic, experimental, a lot of synth action going on. I think they list their gear on the back. Yeah, Korg DW8000, Roland XV3880, Casio, Korg Poly. It's a 3-piece, because the drums and sequences are done by the Akai MPC. All this info is on the back, but very small print. Yeah, really cool record. Vinyl's almost in mint shape. The cover just had kind of a shitty sticker on it, but got most of it off. But yeah, 2015 release on Going Good Records out of the UK. Also not familiar with the label too much, but I'll keep an eye out for more stuff on there. Definitely in my wheelhouse. Basically, full side tracks, part 1, part 2. I guess they got like 2 or 3 tracks each side, but to me it looked like it was all one vinyl. Played it earlier. Sticking with that shop, still I think there was a couple more things. Oh yeah, from 2001. Got a bunch of stuff from 2000, 2001 on this trip. Aaliyah, and excellent single from her, More Than a Woman. Really great track. Just the original version alone is worth the price, which was only $3 actually. But again, I got all these free because I traded. B-side has Masters at Work house remix, which is kind of a little bit bland and boring. And actually, I probably won't be playing it too much because one of the reasons why it's $3, it got quite the scuff and scratch on side B, which is that Masters at Work remix. That's okay because I'm playing the A side. I don't have the Aaliyah album on vinyl. I guess I should pick it up at some point. There's a lot of reissues of it. I don't know if they sound good or not, but let me know in the comments below if anybody has one or has heard that reissue. I don't believe. Maybe they came out with vinyl copy in 2001, original pressing. I'm not sure. They definitely have a lot of singles from it, so that's a good one. And what else from there? Yeah, another single. This one coming out of the 80s. This is Nina Hagen. Got a bunch of stuff by her. This is the Universal Radio track. It's very poppy, quite accessible. I mean, a lot of her stuff is pretty fun and accessible anyway, so it works. Not my favorite song by her or anything, but it's fun. And it was cheap, like $6. 1989, is it? Is it like that late? 85, not that late. Canadian press. I think there's a version with a picture cover, which would be a nice one to get. What else? Okay, yeah, rounding out the records from that shop. Last but not least, this is a record from 2001, same year as the Aaliyah. That Aaliyah also produced by Timberland, by the way, on production. But this is some cool ass minimal glitch IDM twerk, which I wasn't really familiar with that much back in the day, but I was buying a lot of this kind of stuff. This is on Force Inc. Records. Force Inc. and then the sub-label Mill Plateau. All really great minimal IDM. And this is along that lines. But yeah, twerk, I have recently picked up a CD of his with Sutek, so did some work together, I guess. Sutek I'm more familiar with than twerk, but this one's called Now I'm Rendered Useless. It's a double pack, 2 vinyl. Good record. Intricate, interesting glitch stuff. Now, next up, I went to a big shop, probably the biggest record shop in Montreal, which is O33 Tour, or O33 Tour record store on Mount Royal, and it's massive. It's kind of like the Sonic Boom of Montreal. I think Sonic Boom is bigger because it has like 2 floors, but this one has a lot. It has no CDs, I don't think, but it has a lot of tapes now. I noticed it had a big tape wall, and just vinyl for days in all types of genres, used and new. It's actually a pretty good spot to pick up new records that aren't too pricey, because I think they do distro as well or something. They seem to have pretty good deals. I got all used records, except for, actually I lied, I got one new one. I'll start off with that. It's the 7-inch that I picked up, KOS. This is Kinetic Orbital Strike. It's a mouthful. Just some great hardcore grind, or hardcore crust, really. 5-tracker EP. They actually had two EPs, 2 7s by this band, KOS, which I was not familiar with. They're from Philly, and this is a pretty recent thing, like 2023, 2024. Inside you've got just kind of pictures of the band. And, that opens up, sorry. And you have the lyrics as well, scrawled in there. So, yeah, really cool 7 on Phobia Records. That's how that looks. 2024 release. So this was the only new, brand new record of the bunch that I got the last couple days. Kinetic Orbital Strike. Yeah. The True Disaster is the name of the EP. I recommend it if you want a palate cleanser, or if you're looking for some hardcore and crust. That's some of my favorite types of punk. Now, I also got, outside of the electronic pickups this trip, I got some jazz. Found a used copy of this. It's reissue stuff, obviously. This is on the Black Jazz label. Walter Bishop Jr.'s Fourth Cycle. Name of the album is Keeper of My Soul. It's really good. Kind of soul jazz elements, but quite varied as well. It's also modal, I guess, which is like, is that like post-bop, I guess. Yeah, really cool. Originally from the 70s, I think, 1973. This is a 2021 reissue through Real Gone Music. And yeah, I don't know the artist that much, but West Coast, originally from New York, relocated to LA in '69. Got a whole write-up on the back. It feels like some spiritual jazz elements going on as well. Really nice copy. One of the pricier records I bought, actually. It was only $25, but just kind of cool pickup. I don't have a ton of jazz. I'm slowly trying to get the record room in shape here so that I can do a proper room tour again. But behind me there's lots of singles. There's hip hop. There's 80s. There's punk and metal further down. There's some jazz as well. Couple bins of jazz. So that will fit nicely in there. It's 70s era jazz, but interesting stuff. Something that was kind of jazzy that I picked up, but more on the electronic dance tip a bit. Nothing really to show you here. It's just a black label, but it's Andy Ash, Carnival de El Spirit. And Andy Ash, I wasn't totally familiar with at the beginning, but I realize I do have some stuff of his later on Delusions of Grandeur. He does some different deep house kind of releases. Disco elements in there as well. Well done, well sampled. Kind of a bummer because, well, first of all, it's all black label, so I don't like those because I often get them mixed up with, I could get them mixed up with other records that are just all white or all black label, no info. Second of all, this is only one piece of a two-piece record, so this is a double pack originally, but I only have the one. So I think I have side A and B, but I'm missing side C and D. The hunt continues. I wasn't really aware of that release anyway, so it was a nice find. It was originally from, I think, 2014, 2010s sometime, and also from the 2010s. I think this one's 2012. I got this experimental record, Anensvalia Kaltwelt with a K. Nice die cut cover. Comes with a big fold out poster as well. This is on the German label Tesco, which is pretty long running industrial noise, experimental noise label. And this is one of the first artists they signed, I guess. The artist's been around for a while, but this release I think is 2012. But anyway, this is the big ginormous poster with lots of words. And oddly enough, somebody put it on their wall at one point because it's got the tape marks. So anyway, you get what you get when you buy used, right? So I mean, that's one thing I like about Montreal too, is that like they're not super precious with their records. Like a lot of records are played and traded over and over again, whereas a city like where I'm at now in Ottawa, the records tend to be only mint in a store. In Montreal, you can easily find cheaper stuff or weirder stuff just because it's not in top condition. Maybe the vinyl is, but then the cases, or in this case the poster, is not in mint condition or anything. So got that for only $15. Pretty cool, experimental. Probably fit in some of my DJ sets. Now, next shop. Actually, there's 4 shops I went to. I don't know if I mentioned 4 or 3 at the top, but next up, I got some cool 12 inches, cool singles, an album from Rama in Montreal. Also a must visit, especially if you're into electronic music. Loads of singles, lots of new stuff, jazzy stuff, world beat stuff, techno, house, lots of genres, lots of decades and eras. I dipped into a lot of stuff from the 2000, 2010s, more 2010s. Got one 80s punk funk single in here too. But we'll kick it off with techno. Techno single from 2013. This is Frames Vinilog Relative 10. No idea who this artist was. This was a total blind buy, but nice thing about Rama, you can preview the records. They got listening booths, which is really cool. Of course, I was drawn to the cover. You know, it looks like an abandoned warehouse or European train station kind of esque. Anyway, it's got some elements of acid on here and sort of hard techno. It's 4 tracks, I think, in total, and that kind of fits nicely for me. It's on Relative Records. Look them up, and they have a few more releases. They're still going, maybe? I'm not sure. Now, something I was playing at the top of the show was Tambien. I've got some other releases by Tambien as well. Didn't have this one. I wasn't really aware of this one. Really cool single. This is on Public Possession. Number 1, I think, this release. First release on the label. And yeah, Tambien, which is, I think, a trio. And the single is called Robusto / Sex Latita. We run things no run we. Anyway, really cool. Mostly instrumental. Pretty sure it's all instrumental. Might have some vocal. I don't know. But yeah, cool techno. Kind of listening techno, not banging or anything. Just interesting. A little bit left field. Now some more minimal stuff. I was talking about minimal techno earlier in IDM. Big center of that 2000s, early 2000s was Kompakt Records out of Germany, out of Cologne, Germany. And this is one of the original artists on the original like 20, 30 releases on that label. That label Kompakt is up to 300 releases probably now. But this was a cool early LP, Bienfait. It's like in French. And this is Kompakt 18, I want to say. I feel like it's number 18. Yeah, Kompakt 18. Double pack. 1 album over 2 records. Very common, especially for dance music or techno. Just because we're so used to 12 inches anyway. So really good stuff. Smooth, very synth, heavy synth, minimal synth wave, almost a little bit. Ambient at times, chill out stuff. Jonas Bering, good release. I have some singles by him, but I never had an album. I think he has maybe 2 other albums after that. Now from the 80s, I mentioned I had something from the 80s from the shop. Picked this up at Rama. This is really wicked. Rip, Rig, and Panic. I didn't have any records by them yet, but I was aware of them. This is actually like UK band, collective, if you will, that included Nina Cherry at one point as well. And this is You're My Kind of Climate, 12-inch. Great track, fun, sort of punk funk, kind of that no wave scene, mixing jazz elements too. The B-side is called She Gets Hungry at Night, She Eats Her Jewelry. She gets so hungry at night, she eats her jewelry. It's a very quiet kind of ambient jazz track. So I appreciate a mix of styles on even one 12-inch single, right? So this is from 1982 on Virgin Records. And a total cool find. Definitely. And last one, I got 2 more to show you after this from another shop, but last one I got at Rama was this. New label to me. Most of these artists were totally new to me as well. This is a compilation called Bullets, number 2. It's on the label Porridge Bullet, actually out of Estonia. So if we ever do another thread in the VC about, show as many records from other countries as possible. This will be my Estonia pick because I'm pretty sure this is the only record I have from Estonia. Not to say that it was pressed in Estonia. The label's just based out of there. Where it was pressed was probably somewhere in Europe. Yeah, Porridge Bullet. This is a 2016 comp. Really cool comp. 4 tracks, 4 artists. A variety of sort of left field electronic, some sort of housey grooves, but lo-fi, and techno, but lo-fi. Just very cool stuff. I like all of it, really. All 4 tracks. And then by then, I was almost completely tapped out, certainly cash-wise. I didn't spend too much because I did a lot of trading. But I snuck into one more shop, Phonopolis, which is close to Rama. There's like 3 on that street. And just picked up some old school classic rock. Cheap stuff. Some cheap eats. Crocus, Headhunter for $5. Can't beat it. I don't think I had this on vinyl. I mean, I had it when I was a kid on cassette. I used to love this one because it has Eat the Rich on it as well. Good band. I always thought Crocus were German, but I guess they were Swiss. And Pat Benatar, I've been on a big Pat Benatar kick lately, but I think this is actually a double. I'm pretty sure I got a copy of Get Nervous somewhere. It's not her best. It doesn't have any big tracks on this one from what I remember, but it is solid though. It's good, sort of almost new wavy pop rock, 80s rock. So there it is. It's my mega pile of recent arrivals. I did get a couple of metal CDs recently, so I'll save that for another video. I'll see you guys in the next one.